Go.
What is it you pray for?
Greetings, ladies and germs. Welcome to the 13th episode of Abyssal Musings. Sorry, I got my wires crossed there. Those of you who watched Screaming into the Void this last weekend, if you watched to the very end, you'll notice I had my wires crossed there too, because I just played the clip that I just played just now at the end of that show, which I just hit the wrong one. So anyway, here we are. Welcome, everybody. Michelle, good to see you so far. We got
Hey,
Shadow,
Michelle.
who, by the way, Shadow, I hate to break to you, but Larry sent me pictures of his being in chat first hours ago.
Yeah, as if I didn't know that you were going to show up.
Hey,
What's up,
JV,
Joker?
good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, so we had lots of fun this last Saturday, and then here we are again. Hey, Ozzy, good to see you. Also, there's a poll up right now. Go ahead and play around with that. It's just something fun that I like to do on occasion. And I don't know, there's a wild hair. You know how that goes. So, my name is Sammy the Infamous, for those of you who don't know. And with me is my co-host for this evening, Lawrence Knight. How are you doing, buddy?
For this evening.
Well, I mean, JV's bucking for your job.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him.
No, fair enough. No. I just on the Abyssal Musings show. Lawrence is my co-host, and for those of you who have been around for a while, he's also an OG panel member for Screaming into the Void from #1.
Yeah, I do plan on being on there more often, guys. Just Saturdays are usually more difficult for me to get on because my home is usually a madhouse at that time. So like I can't even. I would have to get on and then mute myself pretty much the entire time.
Yeah, Ozzy heard about that. It's one of the things that I think might come up, might not. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck about the Tate brothers, so we'll see. In fact, Lawrence and I just backstage here a little bit ago, we're just talking about that ourselves.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I owe Shadow of Hawk something. I owe it to him bad. He compared me to Davy motherfucking Jones. So you know what I say to that, Shadow?
Sammy Jones.
Fuck you.
Sammy
Fuck
Jones.
you. All right. Now I got that out of my system. Hey, Suka, good to see you, man.
Oh, look, it's late high.
Oh, hi's here.
It's late high.
So, for those of you who have not seen it, Jetstream Sam, welcome in. Last Friday, I was a guest on Friday night's Royal Rumble, and I did something unprecedented for me. For those of you who don't know, their Joker voice was there, so and Shadow was in chat at the time. I did a face reveal.
By the way, hold on. Before you go into this, weren't you supposed to send me?
Yep, still looking for him.
Yeah, you were supposed to make sure that I got onto that show.
Oh, no. What I was supposed to do was give your email to Ryan, which I did do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I gave it to him last week, man. So, but right now, I mean, he's out of touch right now. Anyway, he had a flight canceled and all that stuff. So,
yeah, a lot of that going on.
Yeah. So last week on Friday, I did a face reveal, and now I'm not going to do it a second time live, but I do have a pick. Bong. Bong, bong, bong. Stole a little bit of the Batman's, music there. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Shadow, keep it up, and I will just leave this motherfucking thing up the whole stream. So anyway. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah. To be fair, I did not share that out. People have been either getting it off of here or whatever. So that's not on me. I kept my fucking word. So it never gets old, man. It never gets old. Hey Zeron, good to see you, buddy.
Super Suka, what's up?
Oh, yeah. So now that I've gotten that gut laugh out of my system, and the whole face reveal thing was just a gag I did for about 20 seconds. It was pretty funny. But yeah, otherwise, that's more or less. Oh, right. I was going to tell you guys, if you haven't been keeping up with my community tab, I was planning on doing more gaming streams this week, but my dumbass mistook a puddle or a patch of black ice for a puddle and went ass over tea kettle. And so while my back is sore and wouldn't necessarily prevent me from gaming, but I also landed on my left wrist, which does prevent me from handling a controller. I can still type, but I can't really grip with my left hand right now. So that's on hold until that heals up a little bit. But that said, that's all the news I got.
Well, first, because of course I have a story for you guys too as well. But I just want to wish everybody, hopefully, all of you have Merry Christmas or whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate. Hell, you don't have to celebrate anything at all. Maybe you were able to guilt trip somebody into buying you a bottle of cologne or perfume or something. I don't know. Um, but my son,
Oh, I'm not.
my son, he's one of those kids that he makes toys out of things that I wouldn't say don't make any sense because he's not the first one to do it. But you ever seen those Swiffers? You know those little Swiffer mops that you can get. You can adjust the size and you put the little wet wet
Yeah,
map or whatever it is
I've
on
used
there.
them.
So he's got one that we had to scale it down to his height. But the kid's been playing with this thing for 2 years, right? And he's running around with it. And this was Friday night. He's running around in a circle with it, and my wife is laughing, and our guests are laughing, and our friends are laughing and everything. And I'm just looking. And I said, he's gonna hurt one of us with that. And I said, mark my words, somebody's gonna get hurt. He's running around, whatever, and then he finally gets tired and stops because he's high energy. And I'm talking and everything, and we're all having fun discussing, blah blah blah. Well, my first mistake was not realizing that he had gotten really quiet. And those of you who have kids, when your kids get quiet, that's when you need to be concerned. And I also had lost sight of him. I know he's in the house, but I lost sight of him. Well, little did I know that the boy was on the other side of the house getting his second wind. So I finally realized while everybody's talking, I'm like, hey, I haven't seen him in a while. Let me go find him. I go walking over to the other side of the house to go find him, right? And if you guys have ever if you ever get to see our living room, which I doubt, but there's a wall right in the middle of it, so you can literally run circles around the whole downstairs. Well, the boy had gotten a second wind and started running again. This time, at first he had the mop. He was holding it up like almost like you would hold like a like if you're standing up something, if you're holding a flag or something, and you would hold it up and hold it straight. Well, this time the kid had put it down in front of him like a javelin. So when I came walking around that corner, little did I know that my son at this point has gained full speed and is at full gallop. Guess where it aimed it? Guess where he hit me?
I mean, in your baby maker?
Oh yeah. No, not just hit me, ran through me.
No. I get, dude. That's like laws of the universe. Of course, he hit you there. That's just how that happens.
All I know is I'm rolling, I'm on the floor, and everybody realizes at that moment, we better take that from him. After I've already gotten hit. I'm rolling around on the floor. Now the kid's pissed because they just took his toy from him, which is not really a toy at all. And he's not worried that he just hit his dad in the family jewels.
Maybe he knows he's got a little sibling coming and he wants to end it there.
Knowing him, I wouldn't be surprised. Because anytime this kid gets excited and wants to throw something at me, he aims it in the same spot. My wife got him a football. He threw it, hit me in the nuts.
Did you ever watch South Park?
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you ever see the episode where Kenny is trying to prevent his dad from getting his mom pregnant?
No.
He does all the same shit and just keeps targeting his dad's nuts. And towards the end there, when his mom's pregnant, he attacks her with a plunger.
Oh, wow.
Kenny, what are you doing with that plunger, Kenny? Kenny, where are you going? Kenny, what are you going to plunge? Oh, it's terrible. Oh, that reminds me, by the way. So Shadow and Cat do a stream every Saturday or every Thursday, as best they can arrange with each other anyway. Called Merry Madness, and it alternates on their channels. And it's usually a pretty good time. But I brought up something in chat today that everybody was like, "What the fuck?" So I got to tell the story too, because I did tell Shadow I would tell the story tonight. So we were talking about smoking a little bit, and it just popped into my head. I used to know this guy. I'm not going to name him or anything like that, but I used to know this guy years ago in another city, and I was involved with. Yeah, you do, man, because it was jacked up. I was involved with a little bit of the local music scene at the time because some of the guys I worked with at my job were, in a band, and they were working, it was a whole thing. Anyway, one of his bandmates used to go to specifically to Christian alt rock local concerts, right? Local shows. But he would do it to anybody, but he really liked picking on Christian rock, where he would get off in the wings, either off stage. He'd be usually stage left, and position himself where only the drummer could see him, because the drummer in a rock show is usually in the back, so they're not. Yeah, everybody else can move around in front of him. And he would position himself to where only the drummer could see him. And of course, a band is nothing without a drummer, because a drummer keeps time. A drummer keeps everybody on pace.
Yeah,
point.
Yeah.
So he would drop his trousers, bend over, and smoke with his butthole in full view of the drummer. Like, he would stick a lit cigarette in his butthole, and he was able to inhale some of the smoke with his butthole and blow it back out again. In full view of the drummer, but no one else. The audience couldn't see him. The rest of the band couldn't see him. Only the drummer could, just to fuck up their time signatures.
Wow.
Yeah. It's oh man, yeah. Life was wild when I was in my 20s.
Hey, did you?
Hey, Carrie, good to see you, buddy.
Speaking of that, did you hear about that? There was a lady that has a band, and I believe she was on one of those talent shows. I think she was a runner-up or something. But last year she got a guy on stage, and what she does, she sings parody. She sings songs that are already out by other artists, and she called this guy on stage, had the guy get up between her legs. She pulled her pants down and peed right in his mouth in front of the stage.
Oh, Jesus. Oh no, I have seen that. Yeah, that was actually very famous, and everybody applauded her and her empowerment and all that stuff. But
not afterwards.
Trump doing the same thing to a hooker in a private hotel room. Yeah, and he's Satan. Yeah.
Well, he went against the narrative, so you know.
Yeah, but not she was initially applauded for that. Yeah, I remember that. But see, this is why the local scene is much more fun because it doesn't generally blow up like that on the internet,
Yeah.
and it's much more interesting when you know the people involved than it is when. This is part of the reason, like I think Boa mentioned or Ozzy mentioned the Andrew Tate thing earlier. You know, part of the reason that I don't care about that is because I have no stake in it. Right. I don't know Andrew Tate. I don't know the people he's pissing off. It matters not to me. The only thing about any of that shit that I found amusing was him, having a pissing match with a 19-year-old Norwegian autist. So an eco freak. But yeah, so it's much more engaging, I think, when you personally know the people involved. Like I know the guy, I know him. I've been to parties with him. who smokes with his butthole, and I gotta say that's a talent. I don't know how the hell he does it, but it is a talent. It's just not practical for anything wholesome whatsoever.
But yeah, guys, I'm just gonna say again, Thursday night, we're going to New Year's weekend. I just want to thank you guys again for being with us because right about now everybody's gearing up. Everybody's gearing up for that hangover that they're gonna have on Sunday. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll be Monday when we have the hangover, I think. Because isn't Sunday night New Year's Eve or is it New Year's Day?
Saturday night is New Year's Eve.
Oh shit! Well, that'll be a fun screaming into the void.
yeah, and then you got the Lioness stream after that. Although I suspect she's gonna do New Year's though.
I will be there, but I cannot guarantee I'm going to be 100% sober. Flat out. I'm just saying that right now.
Hey guys, speaking of sober, if you guys look down, and I don't know if you guys are if you're on a cell phone or whatnot, because I know sometimes when you're on a cell phone, YouTube acts kind of, it's the setup's kind of weird. But if you look down past the heading, the Abyssal Musings number 13 heading, you'll see a link for Pablo Escobar. If you remember, several weeks ago, Samuel and I we were having a discussion about that bear that that was said to have sniffed a whole bag of cocaine and got high off of it. And there's a movie that did the movie come out already, or is
it comes out? The movie comes out in February.
There's a movie comes out
late February.
Yeah. Right, about the bear getting high and basically, I guess, looking at everybody like they're candy canes. But yeah, Shadow, the cocaine bear. So there was an update.
How is there an update on a story that's 35 fucking years old?
Because it's an exclusive.
Did they interview the bear's corpse?
I think what happened is, I think because of the film has brought renewed interest into it, and so the medical examiner that inspected the animal is saying that that just a few lines of it is what killed the bear. Not that the bear couldn't have sniffed the entire bag of cocaine. Because apparently it was so strong that just a few quick sniffs is probably all it took to kill him. I don't believe that.
Okay, so is this medical examiner saying that now after recently examining the corpse, or did he examine him in 1985?
They're saying that it is the medical examiner who inspected the animal.
Now let's just take a look at this.
Dr. Kenneth Alonso.
All right, Kenneth Alonso. Okay, yeah, right down here.
Okay, so see, this is where it gets weird, because look at the heading, how it says that he examined the bear, but if you look at one of the bullet points, it said the animal would have suffered a heart attack after inhaling a small amount. So it's like, okay, so did he actually examine the bear or not when the bear just died?
Yeah. Yeah, he's not wrong here though, because 95% pure cocaine is lethal to pretty much everything. Anything above 92% actually is lethal. That's part of why they cut it. The other reason is because they want to make more money
Like,
with less drugs. But yeah, part of the reason they cut it is because otherwise they have a bunch of dead customers. So yeah, typically around 50%. I think 50%, that's still pretty high.
that's high.
I'm not saying that you can't. I mean, you're fine if you take the 50%. Don't do drugs, by the way, guys. Do not do cocaine. I am not advocating doing cocaine. Talking.
I've never done it, so I don't know. I wouldn't do
I'm not
half a
saying one
percent.
way or the other. No. But generally speaking, when they cut it, like I said, they are trying to parse it out so that they can make more money with less drugs. So like they'll take something like flour or baking soda or what have you, and cut it with that to make it look like there's more coke there than there actually is. And so generally, the purity that you get, buying from a street dealer is typically closer to 27% if you're lucky. If you get 50%, you have almost a direct connect, which also means that you're hanging out with people who have no problem stuffing you in an oil drum and setting you on fire. So, uh, so yeah, I thought it was a 7% solution.
Yeah.
Ozzy. I might be wrong about that, but I did think it was a 7% solution. So Pablo Escobar is hilarious, though. That is one of the funniest fucking things ever. Was there a video attached to this, or?
I don't think so. I think it was just a report that was done. I mean, there's some photos. I mean, I'm looking at a photo of the. They stuffed the bear and mounted the bear.
No, well,
you're
this
looking at it.
it says,
They got a sign on them that says "Cocaine Bear."
okay, so down here it's saying the medical examiner who inspected the bear said it was too decomposed when it was discovered. So, how long after the bear died of cocaine did they find it? If it was too decomposed to be stuffed and mounted like this, right? I mean, does the ME does he not understand that cocaine is also fucking biodegradable?
It makes you question the whole thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does. I was like, how do you know it didn't ingest a fuckload more cocaine than that, and it just got dissolved and and absorbed into its system, and then rotted out like the rest of it. If it was that decomposed, that's entirely possible. It could have eaten a hell of a lot more than they're saying.
They're saying the bear was only 175 pounds. A black bear, only 175 pounds.
Well, I mean, if the cocaine was a habit, I could believe that. No, that was a joke, guys.
It was a joke.
That was.
Not do drugs, guys.
Yeah. Oh, here's the medical examiner himself. He looks like he's no stranger to the nose candy himself. I'm just saying.
Are you suggesting that he might have given the bear the cocaine?
I'm suggesting that the cocaine that he found in the bear may not be all the cocaine he found. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No.
But he sold the story so he can get money from the movie's proceeds 35 years later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they started working on this movie a while back, but decomposed matter from the bear and bone sample were positive for cocaine and
here's the other thing. If he was too decomposed, how were they able to stuff and mount him in Lexington, Kentucky?
Well, that's what the medical examiner is saying, is that this is not the bear. That is not the actual bear, even though the mall in Lexington has it, claims to have had it stuffed. Like down here, the caption is saying, but according to medical examiner, it was too decomposed when it was discovered in order to be like taxidermied. kind of stuff. I don't know if there's a true thing in this whole article.
I don't either. And I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this photo that they took from the trailer of the bear laying on its back, gulping down, gulping
That's a
down the
brick.
back.
That is a
Is
brick
it a
of
brick?
cocaine. For those of you laypersons out there, a brick is a kilo. It's a lot of coke. It's funny. I can't wait to see this movie, dude.
Rawr.
I just it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Shadow,
Yeah.
what did you do?
Oh, he's working on his meme skills. He said he was working on doing something with me.
By the way, so guys, I get a phone call from somebody named Samuel the other day. And he says, "Hey, man, I'm making headway because now if you Google if you just type in my name, if you just Google it, I had like 6 articles pop up. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm like, 6 videos, girl. That's great. I go on there and I see a whole bunch of screaming into the voids, and I see one Abyssal Musing, and I click on it. I'm like, okay, so let me click on it. Let me see which one it was me and him were talking about. I click on it. Who do I see? Samuel and Joker.
That's funny. Oh, it's too bad he left chat.
And I was sitting there, I was like, of all of the videos that we made, the one that makes it to Google is the one that I was too sick to be on.
I mean,
So now anybody
you.
who Googles you is going to think that Joker is your co-host.
Well, if they actually watch the thing, they'll know he's filling in for you.
Still, man's got his pride.
So,
I can't believe it. I'm like, what?
But yes, this is how I know I'm not shadow banned anywhere, is because when you type in Samuel the Infamous on Google, it pops. I'm like the first freaking 6 entries. So
yeah, he's not shadow banned yet, but I see just Pearly things. She just broke the glass ceiling because now they're messing with her. From what I saw, she did a video and she was like, "Yeah, the Matrix is coming after me." Yeah, it sounds about right.
Dude, okay, so Ozzy sent me an email late last night that had a link to a thing that, and I apologies, Ozzy, I only saw it this morning, but I did actually watch the panel that you sent me the link to yesterday, not long after it was on there, because as you know, I spend way too much fucking time on Twitter. It's really unhealthy, blah, blah, blah. And I saw one of Sydney Watson's posts about it with a short clip from that. So I clicked on that, and there was another link to the full thing. So Sydney Watson and Pearl Davis of Just Pearly Things both got invited to a panel for Vice, which, as we all know, is not a reputable source of fuck all. Anyway, on this panel, they had a number of women and a dude who says he's a woman talking about feminism.
I think I saw this.
I watched the whole thing last night, but I had to keep taking breaks because some of these, like some of them seem like they had more level heads than others, but some of them, man, I like, bitches be crazy, yo.
Yeah.
And then one of the panel members, of course, was fucking Eli Ehrlich, right? So if you guys don't know who Eli Ehrlich is a quote unquote American activist, is a dude who thinks that he's a girl, dresses very, very much like. Did you guys ever see that old Robert Palmer music video, Addicted to Love? And he had the 2 ladies in the smart pantsuits next to him the whole time. Right. So in that video, Eli Ehrlich dresses like those ladies. Yeah. So, uh-oh. Did I lose you? Am I still here?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh,
I
okay.
just muted myself when I was coughing.
No, fair enough. I was just double checking because people were saying that the show was buffering here in the chat, unless it was just something I don't know. Maybe I misread that. So yeah. Anyway, it was. So watch the whole thing, and you can tell that the whole thing is not actually there. They obviously edited it for time, but I think they also edited it to curate what was said. Because these other women, like I said, there were one or two of them that seemed more or less reasonable, who were not, Pearl or Sydney, but there was a larger woman who had no legs and was missing a bunch of fingers on her right hand, and there was actually kind of a pretty black woman. She's a little bigger, but she was pretty. It was a Hispanic girl. There was I'm assuming was an Arab girl. It's hard to tell the way she was talking. Like, she even said that her religion allows abortion at one point, which I know Islam does. But again, they're very strict on when it allows that.
Hey,
And
check your. Sorry, why are you going to check your email?
I will check my email as soon as I get a chance, Michelle.
Thank you.
So, and it was the whole panel was a fucking nightmare. Just a couple of people who were full of themselves, talking over everybody else, ignoring the points that were brought up. And of course, it was Vice, so it was going to be skewed left anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I did watch that, boy, and it was, I don't know, it was ugly. Yeah. So, do we really need that?
Do we need what?
Sam Hyde versus Hassan Piker. I mean, I personally could probably live my whole fucking life without ever seeing that and be just fine. Shadow, where did you post that meme? I'm gonna have to look that up after I check this email here. So yeah. Anyway, that was the thing about the feminism panel. Not great.
So. Oh, and a guy's coming up in a minute. You already know why I'm laughing. We've got another topic that we're gonna bring up in the big guys. But oh man, it actually set me up. I couldn't stop laughing, and I have another story behind that too. And I actually the whole day. I've just been looking at videos related to the subject. So we're gonna get to that in a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's should be on its way, dude.
Yeah.
Excuse me, just a second. I have to force a lung out of my mouth.
Don't worry, Suka. As soon as I get it, I will. Okay. Boom. There it is.
Oh, that hurt. I was kidding about the lung thing, but I think part of it actually came up.
Okay. So, guys, hey, listen.
He's like, whatever, dude. Fucking sit there and die.
No, it's just that I'm used to hearing you coughing and stuff. Coughing and, coughing your lung up and then swallowing it back into your throat. I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
So, guys, for those of you, I don't know if you guys were on last week or not. For those of you who were not here last week, Michelle sent us a poem, and it was that poem. I even told my wife about it the next morning. That poem was amazing. I still think about that poem. In fact, I'm thinking about actually printing it out and actually framing it and putting it up in our den, because it is a very beautiful piece of work. And so Michelle just sent us another one that I'd like to read for you guys. Um, Michelle, if you're in the chat, what is this one called? It looks like it's called Lady of Night. So I'm assuming that it's called Lady of Night. This is by Michelle.
Light, Lady of Light.
Lady of Light, excuse me. Thank you. Lady of Light, Celtic woman. A voice calls in the distance, ancient and beautiful. A voice in the midst of Gaelic beauty. A voice of the fair fairies. Lady of Light, Celtic woman. She is the voice Lady of Light. She is the voice Celtic woman. She is the Lady of Light. She is Aries' voice, listen sweetly, my loves. Ethereal, ancient voice. She is the Lady of Light. She is the Celtic woman. She is the voice, Lady of Light. She is the voice, Celtic woman. She is the Lady of Light. She is the heart and soul of her children, mother of all Gaelic and Celtic children. She sings us home, my loves. To ear out, to ear our emerald isle. She is the Lady of Light. She is the voice, Lady of Light. She is the voice, Celtic woman. She is the Lady of Light. Listen as she sings a voice of ancient homeland to all Gaelic and Celtic children. She is our mother, Lady of Light, Celtic woman. She is the voice, Lady of Light. She is the voice, Celtic woman. She is the Lady of Light. Michelle, that is gorgeous. I am sorry that I
Indeed.
got it picked my eyes picked that moment to start. I don't know if something flew in here or something, but my eyes started stinging and watering. Um, so I guys, I wish I could have read that. I would have loved to have read that so much better than I did. But I just, for me, I kind of butchered it a little bit with my, I wouldn't say stuttering, but I can just tell you that just looking at it, Michelle, you really have a gift. You really have a gift. I wouldn't worry about anything that I'm writing. You just keep following your instincts, and you just let it flow from your heart. Because stuff like this is nobody's gonna hate this. You don't have to worry about anyone not liking it.
Indeed.
It's full of charisma. You're right about that, Jetstream. In fact, I'm going to talk to a certain feline and see if we can
Hey,
see if we
Pete.
can add a poem every once in a while. You know, add a poem to the uh, to the list. I'll talk to Amir and see how she feels about that.
Dude, Shadow, I only do that to your shit. And I'm kidding about that. I actually don't. Although I do need to get back to him about something that he sent me. But uh,
So, guys, okay. So, I went to Waffle House earlier today, or now yesterday, where I'm at. Now, I'm wondering. I don't know if you guys heard about the Waffle House fight that happened about 2 days ago. Now,
jeez, yeah, I saw the video. I don't know how many
that,
other people did, but yeah,
so guys, we I don't know what started it. I don't know what started the fight. I just saw. I saw there was these. Now I'm just describing them. There was these black ladies, right? They're customers, and they were yelling at one of the workers. There was a white lady, there was a worker and a black lady that was working, and some other workers. They were also black, and one of the customers grabs this chair, and the white and the white and the white girl, the white worker, she goes, come on. You hear her yelling, come on. She's like, throw it at me, come on. The woman throws I swear that this chair looked like it looked like it was gliding. Like it didn't even look like she actually threw it. It looked like somebody tied a string to it and just pulled it slowly across because the damn thing flew in slow motion. The girl catches it with one hand and just blocks it. In fact, they're calling her a superhero because of the way she blocks it. I've been seeing it all day, right? One of her coworkers picks up, looks like one of those containers. It's got like a salt container, right? Throws it and hits one of the other ladies. It hits her and hits the floor and explodes. So now there's sugar all over the lady, right? So her friend, who's needs she needs to lose some weight. She decides that she's gonna just hop over onto the counter, but she didn't realize that she's fat, and it took her a minute to get over, and she managed to grab something, and she went to throw it at the worker, not the white worker, but the black worker that threw the sugar, and this woman slipped and went head first onto the other side of the desk, of the table, or whatever you want to call it. And boy, it was like bees on honey, man. They were on her. It was crazy. It was crazy. So I go to the Waffle House today, and I'm joking, I'm laughing about it. I told one of the ladies, I was like, "Hey, you guys stay safe. How's she saw the fight." And one of the workers goes, she said, "Yeah, we saw that fight because it was in Texas." But she goes, "But there was another one at the Waffle House up the street from us last night too." And I was like, "What?" So, so apparently Waffle Houses are synonymous with fights, because I went on YouTube and I just typed up Waffle House fights, and I've never seen so many videos going back 10 years of just fights at Waffle House, just all kinds of stuff. Somebody got a gun pulled out on them. Just all kinds of stuff. People getting body slammed, the workers fighting each other. I saw two workers got into a fight over who was going to do the dishes.
Well, dude, you remember that famous story about that one Waffle House or was that no, that was a Denny's. I was thinking of the Denny's. Never mind. One that turned away some folks because they were black.
Mm-hmm.
No, I ate at that Denny's like 6 months after that happened. That's in Lincoln, Nebraska, is where that is. But it's got nothing to do with what you're talking about. I was thinking of Waffle House. See, my Waffle House story is really simple, really very simple. We're going to show the video here in a minute of the fight, by the way. But my story involved my dad taking me there when I was 9 years old, maybe 10. And I ate some bad sausages, and I immediately developed volcanic food poisoning. And I have never been back to a Waffle House since then. Yeah, it might have been. I don't know. But yeah, I will definitely play the video.
Yeah,
should be pretty good.
Before you do that, Michelle, I'm sure you saw as I just typed it. I can tell that that's about you missing home. Any of you guys that's ever been as you guys know, I served in the military. I was deployed. Any of you guys that's ever been away from home, even if it's school abroad or something like that, you know how that loneliness it sneaks up on you, and it's worse when you don't have somebody to lean on. It can get pretty intense. But yeah, well done, Michelle.
Luckily, she's got her husband.
Yeah, she's got her husband, but you still feel it though, man. You really do.
No, I'm sure. I get that. I do, but having somebody with you is still 100% better than not.
Yeah. No, Jetstream, you are 100% correct.
I would probably say it's like D+ food personally, but yeah, that's me. Of course. I had one experience there, and as it turns out, all of it came right back up. So, yeah. All right. Let's get into this fight. There's one moment in particular that I just thought was beautiful. Not that we should be encouraging girls to knock the snot out of each other at the local Waffle House or anything, but If they're gonna do it, they might as well Monday morning quarterback it. That's the chair.
Okay, we don't see anything though. Okay, never mind.
Oh,
there you go. No, I'm looking
Bro,
at
what the f- going on, bro? Hell no. Bro, I just want my waffles, guys. What they doing, bro? Come on, son. Oh, what's going down, son? Oh, shit. You wildin', guys. Oh, you are wildin'. Oh,
I mean, I'm gonna pause it here for a second, just because YouTube gets a little weird about stuff. But yeah, that's I think my favorite part right there. It's like I just want my waffles, man. What are you doing? Excuse me.
And you know what? With all these fights, it's the number one thing that you will hear. You look at any of those videos online about any of the other fights. That's the number one thing that said. I just want my waffles. One guy had a worker get mad at him because he said she brought his waffle and he said, "I asked for pancakes."
Oh man! So this next bit where we're about to see is one of the girls has climbed up on the counter. Right, you never do this in a food joint, by the way, especially where grease is involved. There's a reason that the employees wear non-stick shoes. We're about to see why. Okay, so at first I thought that the initial girl who rushes over, she's the one who got the chair thrown at her. At first I thought she was rushing over to make sure the one girl's head wasn't like spilling open all over the back there, because that was a hell of a tumble.
Yeah, no, but she did that battle roll off screen, and you see how nice the workers were to help her get up.
Yeah. So the chick who had the chair thrown at her rushes in and just starts wailing on her. And there's an uppercut in the middle of this that is just a thing of beauty. Right there. And all her friends jump back there and jump her, and she's still swinging. It just, I mean, my God. No.
Guys, this is real life.
This is real life, man. This is reality TV. Come on.
Yeah, you can't get it anywhere else. No YouTuber can recreate the carnage we just saw and make it believable. Only on Abyssal Musings.
See, Michelle, that's the thing. I have no idea what caused this to begin with.
Hey.
Yeah. So, that'd be your phone, buddy.
Yeah. It was. The chat had gotten disconnected. That's what it was telling.
Huh.
But it's reconnected now. You know what, Michelle? I don't know. I think what started it is I want to say I think one of them it has something to do with their food. I can't remember what it was.
Okay, so apparently this happened last year. The video was released recently, but yeah, this apparently happened in Austin, Texas last year around 4 a.m.
Why are they just not putting this on there?
I don't know. They're probably sitting on it to see if it would make a big impact. I don't know. So one of them stands. Okay, so what happens is one of them stands on the counter, and the staff member, I assume the one who had the chair thrown at it, threw a coffee pot at him. So they start throwing shit back, and then yeah. All right. Let's see if there's anything in the article that talks about. It remains unclear what led up to the fight at the casual eatery. I mean, there it is, folks. Black and white.
We know what happened. It's late night at Waffle House. It doesn't take much. Normally, you know what, Michelle? Normally, what starts the fights is somebody starts. They start treating the workers like crap. You know, they get in there and they start running them out. They start complaining about the food. One argument broke out. It didn't turn into a fist fight, one argument broke out because the manager charged a customer 50 cents for a plastic fork.
Yeah, it says it yeah, right there.
And,
Bro, what the fuck is going on? Bro, I just want my waffles.
yeah.
Yeah, so it just they don't know. They don't know. And obviously if they've been sitting on this for a year, they what we're seeing is all we have. It's that's the whole clip. So, who knows?
Maybe
There
they
might have
had
been
it.
more on
Maybe
camera.
they had it buried somewhere in their archives and somebody found it.
Man, I don't know about the Daily Mail, dude. Some of their writers.
Yeah,
this
some of
is
the writers be spot on, and then others it's like,
this reads like a freaking play-by-play.
like it was written by somebody that was there.
Yeah. In the first person, like they were there. It's like, oh yeah, there's a bit where she gets, I mean, from this angle, I swear though, it looked like she landed on her head.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, did she just get killed? But no, she gets back up and then gets punched a bunch of times, and then
can
look
you
at that.
imagine?
Look at that right there.
But can you imagine being the people in that video and you think it's all behind you, and that's you're viral a year later? Like some of them, just you just live that down, and you've already moved on with your life, and then all of a sudden somebody just brings this up.
Right. I don't know, man. I think Ozzy's got a great idea though.
Well, actually, Ozzy, it's funny that you mentioned that because a YouTuber actually came up with that earlier yesterday. Actually brought that up.
Shadow, yeah, to a degree, that's true. I think we love to fight, but I don't think it's necessarily always physical altercations we're looking for. I mean, we argue too. Sometimes it leads to violence, sometimes it doesn't. But we love to quibble, we love to quabble, we love to argue and to fight, and yeah, it's in our blood. This is one of the reasons that I'm not 100% convinced that this country will in fact fall to communism despite their best efforts, because Americans, unlike let's say the overwhelming majority of the Chinese populace.
That's not where you didn't go where I thought you was about to go.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I already know what he's.
No,
I already know what he's gonna say.
The Chinese populace, who have been subjugated in one form or another for 5,000 years, right? They've had the fight beaten out of them. We haven't. We built this country on our need to punch a dude in the face.
Well, I don't know about that actually, man. I mean, a few weeks ago, with those COVID lockdowns and stuff, the Chinese were out there protesting in the streets.
Right.
Man.
Finally.
They had enough. Even the Chinese government, even the CCP was like, well, maybe we need to start letting up on some of the stuff.
Because they want to avoid what happened when they took over. They want to avoid what they did to the previous regime when they took over happening to them. That's why they're saying that shit. And honestly, I hope China fucking hears this, right?
I'm sure they do.
I hope the Chinese.
Go on TikTok. They'll hear you just fine.
No. See, I no, not doing TikTok. First of all, even if TikTok wasn't, spyware working solely for the benefit of the CCP, it's also for 12-year-old girls. But no, I do. I hope the Chinese people rise up, and I hope they kick the motherfucking shit out of the CCP. I hope they take their goddamn country back. I really do. I wish the people of China, the actual people of China, nothing but the best. I hope they throw the fucking yoke of oppression off. And for those of you in the U.S. who are always talking about, oh, we're so oppressed, this and that. No, you're fucking not. Look at China. Or anywhere else.
But these same people think that China's great. They think what China's doing to their people is great.
Yeah.
So I mean, our government has programmed them, but even still, and honestly, I've noticed this too, is that the younger generation behind the ones that are programmed like this, they're not thinking like that. They're thinking like us.
Suga, how do you mean? What do I think about Russia in general, or politically, or with the shit that's going on with Ukraine, or What do you mean exactly? Because personally, I'm one of those people who, frankly, I think that there can be. Here, I'm just going to pull this off the screen here. Both sides can be wrong. Like with the Ukraine Russia, shit. I think that Ukraine never stopped being fundamentally corrupt, and I think they're milking this shit for all they can get, especially the son of a bitch Zelensky, who just came to our goddamn country and gave a State of the Union address on the floor of the fucking house like he was the president of the United States. Fuck that guy. However, I also think that Putin's a dick, and I think that he's possibly not a great dude either. Now, obviously we're not getting much in the way of
We're not getting the truth from anybody. Really.
No, we're not.
Telling what's really going on.
Everybody involved is throwing propaganda all over the fucking place,
Yeah.
and I've got no idea where the truth actually lies in that.
Which is why I stay out of it.
And I've never been a fan of Putin himself. I think that once you're KGB, man, you're always KGB. In my opinion, and the KGB were not good people any more than our CIA are. But in regards to that, I mean, it sucks for the people on the ground. It sucks for the soldiers that have to, on either side, I think, that have to be in any way involved in all this crap. But, I mean, I suppose if the property's still in Russia, and the citizens fled the country, whatever, right? It's not like they're going back. So, I don't know. But yeah, I think, yeah, and you're going to get that. And that's the thing. The other thing you got to keep in mind, the Russian government is not like the U.S. government, which, and to be fair, our government's pretty goddamn corrupt too. But we do have more freedom here than they do in Russia. Always have. Right. So this is not unexpected. I ain't saying it's right, but it's not unexpected. So I don't know what else to tell you on that, man. I'm a little conflicted on the whole issue, and I'm not up to supporting rulers and politicians that I don't agree with on either side.
We also don't want to go into a full political tangent on this show.
Well, he asked a question. I was just asking.
Yeah, I know, but so. I can see us being here another 45 minutes.
Yeah. So, but that said, otherwise, there's a lot to like about Russia. I love their freaking architecture. They have a very interesting history. And I'm not just talking about like Cold War stuff. I mean, you go back and back and back, and there's a lot of shit happening in Russia. I think the people in general are pretty neat. I love the language. Language is beautiful to me. I mean, I know it sounds a little guttural for a lot of Westerners, but I find the language just fascinating. I don't speak it well or much at all, just a little bit here and there. But so I think there are a lot of great things about Russia. I just think that their current leadership is a bunch of douchebags. So yeah, they do. Well, it has to be. It has to be. I mean, like look at where they live. They got to make things interesting. So yeah, I mean, these people learned how to make extremely potent booze out of potatoes. I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing if not. I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is. Yeah. See, I can read a little bit of that. Now, Nemnogo. I think something or other. Like I said, my Russian sucks, dude. I can recognize some of the letters and some of that sort of thing. So, but yeah, I think it's a cool language. I like it quite a bit. And as for Ukraine, there's stuff that came out of Ukraine that I like quite a bit too. They have some really cool music coming out of there, or at least they did. Yep. Actually, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Jetstream Sam, that first backwards R looking thing is not actually an R. It's ya. So when you see it in there, it's usually at the end of a word. But when you see it by itself like that, it means I, as in me. You know. But and a lot of that's one of the reasons that yeah, one of the reasons that Americans have trouble sometimes learning it is because it operates on a very different alphabet, based mostly in Greek and Hebrew letters. So, and it's just the whole thing. Anyway, now that I've gone lecturing and ranting and just kind of meandering with my words and weird thoughts and shit, what's next? Sorry, guys. Yep, Cyrillic is the written form. Yeah,
I was just waiting for you to stop.
I know, and you know what? And you should have said something too, because you know me well enough to know that wasn't going to happen.
I did say something. I did say something, and you kept
going. You said something about.
We don't want to go into
an
hour-long tangent.
You know what? Suka asked me something about something that I have some interest in, so of course I'm just gonna
just go ahead and blame Suka.
I will. I'm gonna blame Suka because Suka should know by now too that if somebody gets me talking on something that I'm interested in, I might not stop. I actually suppose that Boa hasn't been giving me, or Ozzy hasn't been giving me shit about it.
Yeah, that's like the second and third time that you've called Ozzy Boa.
I know. Well, he's yeah. That's the whole thing. Yeah. Are you though? Really?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So that
guys, I don't even know if we should go into this next fight. There was a brawl at Disney World.
Well, I mean, it is the Magic Kingdom.
Apparently.
See, I knew that. I just wasn't sure if I should say it out loud, on air. So, but yeah, I apologies about that. Usually I will call you by the name that's on the screen, and it's a thing.
Well, that's news to me. Thanks, Boa.
No, it's not. No, but all right. Yeah. So I'll let me see about bringing this other thing up real quick. You want to do the lead in?
Well, honestly, I mean, I just saw the fight and I was just like, well, it seems like this is the week of brawls. I'm not even sure what started this fight. It says, somebody got out of line to go do something, and then she went back and tried to get in the line, I guess, with the people that she was with, and the people that was standing behind her wouldn't let her back in, and they pushed her. And so that's what led to this family brawling literally in the middle of I'm guessing one of the kingdoms.
Oh, dude, I think I've seen this. This happened either earlier this year or towards the end of last year.
Yeah, see, they really need to stop putting these old videos up. It must be because it's the end of the year, and they just run out of stuff to do.
Yeah, most likely. But I don't know how reliable the Daily Mail is, dude.
It seems like if it's not something political, then it's like.
Yeah, they're just looking for fillers because not a lot's happening right now. But yeah, this fight, I saw this fight when it happened, and this was a while back. So, but we can go ahead and check it out.
Well, we don't have to. I mean, if it's old.
Well, we're already doing it.
All right.
Why are they all wearing the same clothes?
Maybe it's a family outing.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Heck of a vacation.
Yeah.
Go somewhere and get beat up.
Right.
Ooh.
It's probably for the best that the camera looked away right then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like one dude in the middle of all this, and he's like, "Hey, let's not do this. This is the happiest place on earth." You know, all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. If that's a family, that's a big damn family. I'd wager it's probably more like a some kind of like tour group or something.
Yeah. And the messed up thing about it is too, as I'm reading the article, is that it's not that the girl was in line to see the performance that they were in line for. She had left her phone on one of the scooters and she was just trying to get it back. And the family that was up front pushed her because she tried to move past them to get her phone and they pushed her.
Oh, so this is your classic like barroom brawl scenario where somebody brushes against somebody else and they mistake it for something that it isn't. Somebody starts swinging.
Yeah. My thinking is, it's probably not that simple. She probably ran her mouth or said something. Yeah, I'd have just been like, hey, I left my phone right there. Can you guys, is it okay if I, get my phone?
Well, it's possible. It's possible that she did say something like that and they just ignored her, didn't hear her or something.
I don't know.
But I wasn't there. I didn't see what started it or anything like that. It looks like there's another minute and a half of this. You guys want to continue?
I mean, you can if you want to. I'm fine if everybody else is fine.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Let's. Why don't we cut it there? Because I'd really like to not get hit by YouTube for
Well, you're not going to get hit for copyright because that's not.
I'm not talking about copyright. They will hit me for showing violence. It's been happening a lot more lately. So
YouTube really is becoming the unhappiest place on the internet.
Yeah.
That's why as much as I've talked about doing my channel, I'm really thinking about just doing something on Rumble and not worrying about the numbers because at least I don't have to have the stress of worrying, okay, well, dang it, is my video going to get demonetized tomorrow because, I was playing a video game and ran down the street and somebody put a Ford Taurus in the corner or something like that and it got copyrighted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now copyright, I wasn't worried about. There are other things like they could claim that was a TOS violation, for example. There was a guy, no, maybe it was Chrissy Meyer or something like that, but she was showing something that had to do with like hot sauce or ketchup or some shit like that, and she got hit for violence. Had nothing to do with there was nothing violent in the video, but so I don't know all the details on that. I'd have to go back and look it up. Hey, Squatch, good to see you. So, it looks like we have a question here.
I just answered it, but yeah, go ahead. I'd love to hear your expert opinion, Sam.
Expert, my ass. Did you not read the disclaimer in every one of these videos? We're not experts on anything. I think. I think that you should probably teach them their parents' native tongues as well. But depending on where you're going to raise them, I would say depends on like the order that. And Michelle, actually, if they're pretty young and like that, like they are, it's going to be a lot easier for them to absorb the languages very, very early on. If you want to start teaching them like a different language when they're like 10 or so, they'll
It's gonna
still
be
have an
much
easier
harder.
time, but it will be a lot harder then.
Yeah.
And if they're my age, it's most cases damn near impossible at this point, just because my synapse pathways are already set pretty much. Um, obviously you can learn new things if you really put your mind to it, but yeah, I'd say go ahead and if you're going to do that, start now. Start when you're very young.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that might get a little tricky later if they're like, I'm sure you know what Spanglish is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you imagine a language that somebody's
Yeah.
speaking to you, but they're actually
So,
speaking three languages and mixing and matching, and
yeah.
it's perfectly
Well,
understandable to them because
yeah.
it makes sense in their brain. But
No, they'll know the difference. I know plenty of people that teach their kids multiple languages.
Mhm.
But Michelle, I'll say this: just do it. And the reason why I said in the comments that it will give them skills that they can use is globalization. I mean, you you never know just how far what you have to teach them
Mhm.
will go. I have friends that, when we were little and their parents were teaching them stuff and, things, different languages and, their native tongue and stuff like that. And while I understood it, I was like, okay, well, that's good for them. Well, some of them were able to turn that into very lucrative careers in ways that, okay, for example, here's one. A friend of mine just got a job working for a major company as an assistant manager. She has an English degree, which I'm sure as you guys know is one of those. It's like an umbrella degree. I have a bachelor's in English, and so it's not very specific, and it can be very difficult to find a job. This woman got a job as a assistant manager with no experience in the finance section of the company. She got the job over people who have been there for a few years and have finance degrees because she has been a stay-at-home mom for about 7 years, and they valued her raising her son, homeschooling him, teaching him, and the things that she did as a mom to get him to where she is, to where he is now. And she also has a daughter. Something about her interview and her life experience as a mother put her ahead of people who have degrees and experience in the very field that she is now their boss in.
hey, good night, Squatch. Thanks
Yeah.
for stopping
So,
in.
yeah, thanks, Sasquatch. So, teach them what you know, because you never know how how positive an effect it can have. And I suspect going forward, um, it's gonna do them a lot of good. So
I will.
just
I would like to add on to that though. Like definitely make sure that they know your native tongues. That I'm totally cool with. Although with the English, you're going to want to make sure they have a very good grasp on that as well. And the reason I say that is because should the world survive the coming commie apocalypse, English is the language of business.
trust me, they'll know it because there's so many other people that teach it. When they go to school, the kids are going to be speaking it.
Mhm.
So it's just balance it, teach it, speak it at home, but also, get them books to read in English, get them books to read in your native tongues. If you can get anything, from from your country, do that. Read it to them. The younger, the better, and they'll understand.
Mhm.
They'll know exactly what's going on and how to separate the letters. Just
Yeah.
coach them along because,
Well,
like I said, that school they're going to get plenty of schooling in English.
also, actually, if you're teaching them three languages from infancy onwards, by the time they get to to like their 5th year, they should be reasonably fluent in all 3 of those, which will also make it easier for them to learn new languages.
Yep.
So, just keep that in mind.
Yeah,
That so you could end up with like serious polyglots on your hands.
Yeah. So onward.
Yeah.
So here's another story for you guys. And I don't know if this is new or old. Like I said, I pulled really almost exclusively from Daily Mail this week because there's not much going on other than Joe Biden. If he sneezes, it's in the news, so you can tell they're reaching because everybody's on vacation. But maybe you heard about this, Sam. So I don't know if you've ever. I'm sure you've gone to a thrift store before, and people don't know when you go to a thrift store. People don't know what kind of valuable things that you can find in a thrift store. I do. I watched my mother go take a painting that she had bought at one thrift store, took it to this was years ago. She took it. It wasn't a Goodwill. It was it might have been a Goodwill or it might have been a Goodwill. I can't remember. But she sold this painting she had for $7, and she bought this book on antiques that was in the store. She goes home, reads it, sees the painting that she had just sold for $4, and finds out that the painting's worth $75,000. Goes back to get it. Someone had just bought it for $8 and walked out the door. So, with that said, Goodwill's a good place to find some stuff. I found some really good golf clubs there. But this guy went in there and bought a router. This is the other thing that I'm always iffy about just donating old technology. I've got to clean it. But this guy bought a $15 router at a thrift store, and he plugs it in, as you guys can see, has the previous owner's bank account, his tax information, his credit card numbers. They had everything on it.
Why is this under female?
I don't know.
It's like this up here. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
I would not be surprised, dude. One day you're going through Daily Mail, right, checking articles and all that shit, and you come upon, an update on the life and times of Bat Boy.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's apparently a dude bought a $15 router and is stunned to find that it has previous owner's bank account, tax information, and credit card numbers on it. I mean, this by the way, yeah, if you do get rid of your old tech or whatever, make sure you wipe it first. So, TikTok user Wilhelm, who is known as at Donka You Next Gay. I hope I read that right. Went viral after he revealed that he bought an Apple time capsule from 2010 that still works. Paid $15 for it. Discontinued wireless router, which had an internal hard drive. I was surprised to find that it still had previous owners, blah, yada, yada, all this financial shit. He also confirmed there was porn on the hard drive, because, of course, there wasn't. Why is that getting stored on the router? Wouldn't that be...
I don't know. That's what I'm like. Wait a minute. Whoever had this, that would be on a hard drive.
Yeah. Well, it says that the router had an internal hard drive, which I find difficult to...
It's an Apple product.
Well, yeah, never mind. Wilhelm later shared that he is trying to track down the previous owner's family. I fucking hope so, because otherwise... A man is warning against donating Okay, so this just repeats everything we just read. Those were the highlights. This would be our TikTok user. Donka, you next gay.
Hey, wait. It also had his porn collection on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, this is the guy who bought the router right here. He's not the
Yeah.
guy whose router it belonged to, but Donka, you next gay. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right. Look at that dude's mustache. Just saying.
1980s Top Gun style.
No, that's truck stop glory hole style. No, moving on.
I wasn't gonna go there.
Oh, well, you knew I would.
I was hoping you wouldn't.
All right, so gets the thing. It says it offers a public apology to the previous owner who last used the wireless router in 2010, saying, "I'm sorry, Don, that I'm going through your shit." This is kind of scary. He captioned the 22-second clip, which has been viewed more than 5.4 million times since it was posted on December 14th. So, what, 2 weeks ago? The Apple Time Capsule kind of works like a time machine on a MacBook. He said, instead of having just one backup, it's a whole list of backups. That way, if you want to go back to a certain period, you're just able to go there instead. So it's not just one copy of his computer, it's dozens from different time periods back. Okay, people, do not buy Apple products. Don't fucking do it.
He's just saying that because he hates Apple.
I do hate Apple, but this is fucking why. You know? Okay. 1 second, folks.
What? Michelle. Look at what Michelle posted.
I think I'm coming down with something. Hold on.
You probably caught what I had. I gave it to you through the microphone.
Yeah, because viruses work that way. This reminds me of I read about the Rumbus sweeping bots is being sued by a former owner because, oh, you know what? That doesn't surprise me, actually.
And there's some photos of her on the toilet paper, on the toilet.
Yeah, I'm sure there was more compromising stuff too. Am I the only person who hates the rapid pace that technology is increasing in this world? And I mean, even if the singularity doesn't happen, right? Which I think it will, especially if people keep pushing the fucking boundaries with AI. But even if it doesn't happen, right? You know, people talk about technology and increases in technology and how it benefits all mankind. And they never talk about the nefarious things that people will and do use new technology for.
Yeah.
You know, and they're always like, "Oh no, trust me, it'll be good. It'll be great, bro."
No, it hardly ever is.
It never fucking is because people are shit.
Yeah, that reminds me of there was a school district back in LA that handed out kids brand new iPads for them to do their homework on, and the school district was turning on the cameras and spying on the kids while they were at home.
Yeah, just no, I hate it. I fucking hate everything. I do. I'm gonna say what I said last week. Larry, cover your eyes. I hope the whole world gets syphilis in its eyeballs.
Oh, why you want? So you want Michelle to get it in her eyeballs? You want super? You want all these people who are taking time out of their evening
perfectly
with us.
Good epithet, and you gotta go and break it down like that instead of just leaving it lie or chuckling. Of course, I don't want actually people that I actually know to have syphilis on their eyes.
It's just that I took a health class in college years ago, and I've actually seen someone with syphilis in their eyes.
Yeah, I bet it sucked.
Oh, it's like 1,000 bumps. Oh, it was just the nastiest thing I've ever seen. Syphilis is just and gonorrhea is just nasty.
Yeah, it is. I mean, good news for the sluts of the world, though. Both of those are curable if you catch them soon enough.
Yeah, exactly,
Moving on.
Michelle. Michelle, I'm right with you on that. You know, the only downside for me is I've got a son that likes to aim the mop, the broom, and everything else at he likes to aim that stuff at me and then take off running.
Right. And also, Michelle, you shouldn't want people watching your personal life. I know that they do. Things like Alexa, for example, are absolutely spying on you.
Yep.
Even when they're quote unquote off, they're still recording information. They're still sending it to their overlords.
And
Um,
Amazon has admitted it.
oh yeah, no, they've never made any secret of it.
No.
They've always been very open about it, which is even scarier. you know. So, yeah, I do too, man. But I don't think that's necessarily enough. I think we're all. You know what? It just there's always going to be somebody watching everything you do. Like we live in a time of surveillance. It's just the way it
Yeah,
is.
but please do not use that as an excuse for you to drop your pants. Now that you've got your Sammy Jones mask, I don't want I don't want to see.
Nah, bro, I don't I wouldn't do that to you guys. I will, however, do it to the CIA agent who's tasked with watching me. I'll even throw down some rose petals and light some candles for him. Make it a special experience. Because fuck that guy.
What if it's a woman?
Whatever.
Then you really mean what you just said.
If it's a woman who works for the CIA, she's probably gay, so it'll be unpleasant for her too. That said, yeah. So, this dude, he got all his shit copied onto a fucking router. Look at all of that. God damn.
You got everything on there.
Yeah, it says it was pictures from the photo library, some of which were from the 1980s, which I imagine were probably uploaded to his device. They probably weren't, the 1980s people were still using Polaroids. Based on the previous owner's tax information, which was available on the hard drive, he deduced that Don was either a business owner or a CEO. Man, I bet that was a freaky porn collection. No. His audit history, credit card numbers, flight information. Jesus Christ. The dude's whole life is on there. It has his life insurance information.
Mm-hmm.
Christ. It's from like 2010, so he's probably dead by now. What? Why would you make that leap? Yeah, do not donate your old technology to Goodwill. Yeah, that's a good. He serves me no purpose, and I feel uncomfortable keeping other people's stuff. He said it was insane. And to answer the question that I know everyone's going to ask, there was porn. So there you have it.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, man, that's I don't know. I'm glad he went out there and he was saying, hey, look, I have this. I'm uncomfortable with this. Please come and get your shit. No. That's wild. Why would you? I don't know. Goodwill's, and I grew up and going to places like Goodwill and like flea markets and shit, and, finding deals. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go there tomorrow and see if I can find some more electronics. See what I can find on it.
Right. That's just I don't know, man.
But I'll tell you what though, as we head into the new year, you know me, I'm a movie buff. And I just saw I think it was last week I saw an updated trailer of that movie Megan. Remember I told you about that movie about with the killer android doll?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, fair enough. Maester Chow got a hold of me earlier today. I know some of you have probably been wondering where he's been at. He's been busy IRL and work mostly. It's been pretty busy for the recent parts. Happy New Year to you too, buddy. But he got a hold of me and he asked me if I'd gone to see Violent Night, right? Which is that movie about Santa killing people that just came out.
But yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that Violent Night.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody I've talked to about it, I mean, I've heard mixed reviews on YouTube, but everybody I've personally talked, goddamn, I'm sorry, guys, personally talked to about it, loves it. I don't know. So maybe it's just a dumb, fun movie with a lot of people getting their heads smashed open like, cantaloupes. I mean, sometimes that's what you need, right? Some cathartic, good old fashioned violence.
Yeah,
Doesn't have to have a purpose.
it just gets you where you need to be, right?
Yeah. Well, man, that's part of the reason I play violent video games. It's cathartic. It gets that shit out of my system.
Yeah. It's Asuka saying the Megan one that doll looks creepy, man. I even saw like the they show like the behind the scenes, like the girl. Like I thought it was just like CGI when she does that crazy dance. No, the girl that plays Megan is actually that she doesn't do the voice, but she's actually doing that dance for real. I think she's like in ballet or something, if I read correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. That is yeah, my kid. I haven't really looked into that one too much. I have after I watched Troll, I kind of checked out of new stuff for a while. So uh not that it's Troll's fault. I liked Troll. I think you guys should watch Troll. I thought it was pretty
I
good.
haven't watched it.
I just haven't really been that engaged with like new things too much. I mean, right now I'm watching a TV series that ended like 5 years ago. you know. So but yeah. Is I was Ozzy still quoting Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in the chat here?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think he is. I think that's a thing. Oh, did you? What'd you think?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a good fucking movie. In my but I'd love to know what you thought about it because yeah. Clicking on the things. I gotta hold out for that information. I needs to know. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't possessed.
She's talking about her phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's first time that happened on my phone. It scared the shit out of me too. So
Yeah, phones do weird and crazy updates, and so that's why I understand when Michelle said what she said. Like
right.
I've had my phone. The phone I have now will ask me if I want to update or if I want to let it go ahead and do what it needs to do. But I had one prior to that. That thing would just cut on in the middle of the night and just start doing crazy stuff, and then would shut off.
Yeah. Suga says, yeah, I liked Gandalf. Now, are you saying you liked Ian McKellen better as Gandalf, or that you liked him as who he played in that movie? For those of you who haven't seen it, it's about a young man played by Brad Renfro who already has some disturbing tendencies, who deduces that his neighbor is possibly a war criminal in hiding, a Nazi war criminal in hiding, played by Ian McKellen. And it's about the drama between the two of those characters. It's quite good. Bryan Singer movie. Yeah.
Brad Renfro, rest in peace.
Yeah. So yeah, excellent freaking movie. One of Singer's best, actually. So I do believe it's also based, at least in part, on a Stephen King short story, but I might be incorrect about that. But I think it is. So yeah. So that said, I think we will probably wind it out here. Had a pretty good show, I think.
Yeah, I liked it. Hopefully, you guys liked it.
Yeah. So thank you all for sticking around with us and hanging out.
Michelle wants you to read what happened to her phone. Speaking of books, I guess.
No, that we were just talking about that
Okay.
with the possession.
Yeah, I had to step away right quick. Sorry about that. I just picked up something and walked off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it did say Stephen King in the opening credits. Okay. Real quick, Michelle, we're gonna close out here. If I had to guess, I'm just gonna throw a wild guess out there. The Hobbit, maybe.
I want to say poetry books by your favorite author.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Ooh.
One of America's best.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very cool. All right, guys. Again, thank you for those of you who stuck it out with us. Appreciate you being here. It's been a lot of fun. Love chatting with y'all. Lawrence, do you have anything upcoming?
I have nothing upcoming at the moment, guys. Like I said, I still wanna do something. I just haven't decided what. And really these days, I'm even wondering if it's even worth it. I mean, people are getting their channels messed with it's almost just for breathing at this point. But you know what? It could be worse. You could be standing on a swimming turtle.
Again, that makes no sense.
Well, it's cooler than flaming cobras. How about this? It could be worse. You could be stuck in Samuel's tentacle, or
I
taking
mean-
one of his tentacles up your black hole, or something.
Wow. You thought the glory hole thing was bad? You know what? In some Asian countries, they like that sort of thing. Anyway, moving on. I got to stop saying that too. I picked that up from Carrie.
No wonder. I was wondering, like, where's he getting this?
Yeah, no, that's something that Carrie says when he's just like, okay, never mind, moving on. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna take off. Should be back on Saturday with Screaming into the Void for, I guess we're doing a New Year's Eve edition, and then possibly a Linus show at some point that night, which I'm sure she'll keep me backstage because I probably will be drinking. Most likely. Yeah, that's what we got coming up right now. When my hand heals, I'll do some more gaming stream, but we're not quite there yet. Thank you all for coming. I've enjoyed this very much, and I gotta find this stupid thing. There it is. Have a good night. Remember, YouTube, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming covers.
Good night, guys.
What is it you pray for?